Look what I found, some butterflies. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so I'm so excited about doing this and I'm having so much fun that I'm just going to keep reading. I think I'm going to do just one more tonight because it's 9:15 and I should go to bed after that. But then I'll do some more tomorrow, I promise. And plus, my hair's getting all curly. So that's not good, because, you know, I have to look good for story time. Okay. The next story is called, what do you know? It's called The Story. And here's the picture. Oh, it looks like somebody's sick. One day in summer, Frog was not feeling well. Toad said, "Frog, you're looking quite green." "But I always look green," said Frog. "I'm a frog." "Well, today you look very green, even for a frog," said Toad. "Get into my bed and rest." You know, I was wondering which one was which. So Frog is green, and Toad is kind of yellow-ish. See? Toad. Frog. Got it? Got it good? Okay. So Toad made Frog a nice cup of tea, and Frog drank the tea, and then he said, "Tell me a story while I'm resting." "All right," said Toad. "Let me think of a story to tell you." Toad thought and thought, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. "I will go out on the front porch and walk up and down," said Toad. "Perhaps that will help me think of a story." So Toad walked up and down on the porch for a long time, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. Then Toad went into the house and stood on his head. "Why are you standing on your head?" asked Frog. "I hope that if I stand on my head, it will help me think of a story," said Toad. "And no, I'm not going to go stand on my head, so don't even think about it." Toad stood on his head. Here's Toad standing on his head for a long time, but he could not think of a story to tell Frog. Then Toad poured a glass of water on his head. And nope, not gonna do that either. "Why are you pouring water over your head?" asked Frog. "I hope that if I pour water over my head, it will help me to think of a story," said Toad. Toad poured many glasses of water over his head, but he still couldn't think of a story to tell Frog. There he is, pouring the water over his head. Silly Toad. That's just silly. Silly, like crazy. How would that help you think of a story? I don't know. Anyways. Then Toad began to bang his head against the wall. "Why are you banging your head against the wall?" asked Frog. "I hope that if I bang my head against the wall hard enough, it will help me to think of a story," said Toad. And he got really dizzy, as you can see in this picture. Here, he's about to fall down from banging his head. Here. Oh, silly Toad. "I'm feeling much better now, Toad," said Frog. I don't think I need a story anymore." "Then you get out of bed and let me get in it," said Toad, "because now I feel terrible." Yeah, can you imagine? He really would feel terrible after banging his head up against the wall. So Frog said, "Okay, Would you like me to tell you a story, Toad? Yes, said Toad, if you know one. Once upon a time, said Frog, there were two good friends, a frog and a toad. Frog was not feeling well. He asked his friend the toad to tell him a story. The toad could not think of a story. He walked up and down on the porch, but he could not think of a story. He stood on his head, but he could not think of a story. He poured water over his head, but he still could not think of a story. He banged his head against the wall, but he still could not think of a story. Then the toad did not feel so well, and the frog was feeling better. So the toad went to bed, and the frog got up and told him a story. The end. How was that, Toad? Said Frog. But Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. That was a good story about a story about a story. That's Frog and Toad. They're awesome. We love Frog and Toad. And if you have another book that you want me to read, let me know what it is, and I'll totally hook it up. Love you. Bye.